So whatever happened to the mighty 357 SIG? It was developed in the early to mid 90s for people who wanted something with a little more punch than the common 9mm. Specifically, they wanted something with the power of a 357 Magnum, but they wanted it in a semi-auto pistol that held more rounds and was a little bit easier to shoot. So we're going to bring it out here today. We're going to shoot it against the 357 Magnum and the 9mm, and we're going to blow up some shit too. Welcome back to OG's Danger Show. Welcome back, original gangsters. OG out here with you on the side of Danger Mountain, and today I'm doing something actually kind of again for my own curiosity. I made a video a while back about some handgun ammo testing some 9mm versus 40 versus 45 and 10mm. I had a lot of people in the comments section mention that they shoot and they carry 357 SIG. Now, I have one little 357 SIG barrel. That's all I own in 357 SIG, but I've always been curious about the round. So I got to doing a little research and I decided it's time to pit the 357 SIG against the 9mm to see what it's going to do, and 357 SIG against the 357 Magnum, since it was kind of invented to mimic those power levels of the 357 Magnum, but in a semi-automatic pistol. The players in our video today are going to be a Glock 26. This is actually going to be mounted on the Glock 26X frame that I got from the Glock store. The 357 SIG is actually going to be a Glock 27, which is a 40 caliber pistol, but a while back I picked up a replacement 357 SIG barrel. So we're going to be able to run the 357 SIG out of this little 3.5 inch barrel. It's essentially converted this little Glock 27 into a Glock 33. That's all I got for 357 SIG. Sorry. And in 357 Magnum, we have this Ruger Security 6. It has got a 4-inch barrel on it, 357 Magnum, 6 rounds in a cylinder. And unfortunately, all I have in 357 Magnum, all I was able to find out there on store shelves was this Hornady 140 grain FTX. So it's still a hollow point with a little rubber cap on it, but it's the best we could do. Sorry, not a scientific test. You guys should be used to this show not having anything very scientific. Also out here on the side of Danger Mountain today, we have special guest Sean coming in straight from Glasgow, Scotland.
All right, you're original gangsters.
Nobody knows what he says. We're going to need to get you a translator. He's been a long-time viewer ever since OG's Danger Show was first birthed in a puddle of blood in a hospital room. And Sean is a big airsoft shooter over in Glasgow, Scotland. He has tons of guns, knows a lot about guns and shooting and gear and all of that, but Sean doesn't have any experience on a real live, booming, loud firearms. So OG's Danger Show brought Sean over to the United States where he can experience some America here in free Idaho. But Sean's going to be behind the camera today as we run our little 357 SIG test. And just as an aside, so you don't think I'm preaching what I don't practice, this little Glock 27, which is originally a 40 caliber, has been converted with a Lone Wolf barrel to 357 SIG. And it rides in this Hill People Gear pouch, snapped into this little Kydex trigger guard protector that I got on Amazon. And I carry the 15 and 17 round backup magazines with it. This thing pretty much stays permanently in the center console of my side-by-side so that whenever I'm running to the store, and in case I somehow bashed my head on a door frame and forgot a gun, I've always got something that rides in there with me. And it just happens to be in 357 SIG. So for our 9mm rounds, we're going to be shooting this Spear Gold Dot 124 grain. 1185. 1177, 1188 for an average of 1183.8. For the 357 SIG, we've got Spear Gold Dot 125 grain, Gold Dot hollow point. 1314, quite a bit faster. 1300. 1312 for an average of 1309. A little bit more recoil, but not crazy bad. And unfortunately, the closest we could find, and it's not even close, but But we've got some Hornady lever action 140 grain FTX. This is the only 357 Magnum that we could find on the store shelves this morning. So it's either very popular or not popular at all. This is what we got. Oh my. 1468. Again, a little bit more barrel length, but damn. 1479. And 1453 for an average of 1466. Okay, so here's the first shocker of the day. I sort of expected the 357 SIG to have almost the exact foot-pounds of energy and velocity as the 357 Magnum. They have almost the exact same barrel, a 3.3-inch barrel on the Glock, I believe, and a 4-inch barrel on the 357 Magnum. But that Magnum is getting a whole lot more punch coming out of it as far as foot-pounds of energy and velocity. So, lesson item number 1 for Uncle OG. All right, so I understood there would be no math. We're done with all the sciencey stuff. And remember, this is not a scientific video. It's time to blow some shit up. Let's do it. Our lovely studio assistant is going to replace the Cabbage with another Cabbage that's going to be shot this time with the 357 SIG. Thank you, Vanna. Spear Gold Dot 357 SIG. I don't know. Shredded the Cabbage. Not sure there's any major difference there. While Vanna is resetting the Cabbage, I'm going to show you here. That's a round going through and just shredding that into coleslaw. This is the 357 Magnum. I gotta say, there was a bigger explosion of Cabbage with the 357 Magnum. Spear Gold Dot 124 grain 9mm at the bottom X. Ooh, through the cello tape, and it didn't jump off the table just yet. 357 SIG at the top X of the short board. Quite a bit more energy there. Here we go, 357 Magnum just to the bottom right of that knot. Quite a bit of energy difference. Let's go ahead and cut these apart. The 9mm made a nice clean little hole. The 357 SIG made a nice clean little hole. You can tell there's a little bit of difference there. This one kind of pushed through. The 357 SIG, you can see did more of a cookie cutter. But look at the 357 Magnum. Some super sharp edges to the 357 Magnum where it started digging through there. 9mm made it all the way through, kind of dented board number 2. 357 SIG punched through board number 2. 357 Magnum made it all the way through. Look at this. So 9mm, surprise, punched all the way through board number 2 into board number 3. 357 SIG, what is going on with you? Stopped in board number 2. Look at that. And if we use our handy dandy Spyderco Mantis here, we might be able to dig it out. 357 Magnum punched all the way through and shredded little fibers into that. Board number 3 has the 9mm round punching right through it, and the 357 Magnum round punching right through it. The 357 SIG round bounced off of board number 3. That is the end of its little journey. Board number 3, 9mm stopped somewhere inside of board number 3. 357 Magnum punched right on through. Board number 4, 357 Magnum. I see you hiding in there. Little bit of copper jacket sticking out there in the back, and it did not penetrate. So 4 Idaho pine boards, or what is better known as Russian ballistic gelatin. Okay, first up on OG's Wild World of Wonders is going to be the Glock 26X. This is essentially just a Glock 26 upper on the Glock Store 26X lower, allowing me to use Glock 19 magazines. If you want to see a video about that, I'll have one for you right over here and a link in the description. Okay, 9mm into a level 3A vest. .357 SIG. Let's go to the left side of the vest. Wow. .357 Magnum at the top of the vest. Oh, knocked it right off the table. Okay, it took us a while. We're going to save you the 15 minutes it took us to dig through these layers and layers of Kevlar, but we were able to pull out the 9mm, the .357 SIG, and the .357 Magnum. And the only reason we knew it was this is because it was a much longer bullet and it had the little nozzler ballistic tip with it. Yeah. Let's go ahead and line up what water we do have left and see if we can get you a very quick .357 SIG round. All right, look at that. Although it went through 2 jugs of water, the .357 SIG round mushroomed nicely. Look at that. Look at those petals coming out there. Sort of half mushroom, half deformation, but that flying through your sticky little body would do some damage. Caught in some Kevlar. Let's see what the 9mm 124 grain Spear Gold Dot will do. I'm going to try keep my hands out of it, which means it won't happen at all. All right, for the pork loin, we have a nice little entry hole into the, boy, not even enough damage, or we might be able to reuse this pork. Nice little entry hole into the flesh. If we pick this up and flip it over, we're going to see a nice little exit. I mean, a pretty decent exit coming out of the back. That is what a hollow point is supposed to do. Enter nice and clean, the size of a hollow point, and it does all of its expansion inside the meat and tears out, dumps all of its energy right here. Looking at a little cross section there, you can kind of see what the bullet did. You can almost see, I don't know if you guys can tell, but from where we are, a small entrance, and then as this goes, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger like a Christmas tree until it exits the pork back here with a gnarly wound. So there, that is essentially a 9mm damage in human tissue. Let's go ahead and see if we can put one over here at the left. There is a sheet of bone right in here somewhere. We'll see if we can hit it right in there. Just for you guys, because you've been super good this week. We were able to put a bullet right in here. Punches through skin. I've seen a couple of gunshot victims in my day, and that's what human skin looks like when it's hit, other than a little bit of running blood. Ooh, yeah. The round went through. You can see it right there, how it shattered the bone. Shattered the bone into a million little fragments. That's what surgeons have to dig out of you. And then it exited right through the back of the pork loin. Very similar to human tissue. So a good bullet, a good hollow point bullet like Spear Gold Dot is going to punch right through bone and get in there and do its business. Sean has got the pork loin unwrapped. This is going to be our 357 SIG test. He's got a big piece of bone going right through there.
Yeah, just right there.
And does it go all the way through that chunk of meat? We'll see what we can do. Maybe I'll put my bullet over a little bit to the left and we'll see if we can break that bone the first time, just in case we get crazy damage. Let's see what it'll do with 357 SIG. Woo! Holy crap, you guys got to see this. As Sean turns this piece of meat around, the wound cavity in this piece of pork, and look, it shattered the bone. It made a huge wound cavity. I mean, you could almost put your fist through that thing. That, folks, is 357 SIG doing its damage. That is good times right there. 357 Magnum, this is going to be gruesome. Shall we hit? Shall we try to get the fly? Why not? Holy shit. You guys can't see this on camera, but a piece of pork flew off of this and landed
10, 12 yards?
about yeah, 10 or 12 yards right over there in the bushes. It removed the whole top corner of this pork. I hope we got that fly for all of that.
Yeah, he went.
But look at that damage. If Sean can spin that around towards this camera, this way. The 357 SIG, or the 357 Magnum round hit here in the skin.
That's
and just tore through there. Look at that. Even bigger damage, I gotta say. Bigger damage than the 357 SIG. We are still rolling. I'm gonna go over to the right side of the pork so that we can possibly hit that bone. I'm not tempted by flies anymore. Tempted by Flies, by the way, was the name of my grunge band in the 80s. We were grunge before grunge was cool. Oh, in the dirt again. We opened a lot of shows for Selena and Erasure, but Tempted by Flies, we had a lot of internal strife and we didn't really last very long. We have creative differences. One of us wanted to play orchestral, one of us wanted to play hard rock, so there we go. We are irrigating the wound. I'm not sure we hit the bone, but we have made a massive shredded hole again. Look at that. All right, I see our bone. It's sort of a triangle-shaped bone. I'm going to put our bone right here.
aiming for just where that
Yeah,
markers.
right down in there. Let's go ahead and try one last round, since you guys are sticking around anyway. I mean, come on. You're on the toilet. We all know you're not doing anything anyway, so let's just put one more round down here so we can get a little bonage. That's right, I said it. Yeah, we have shredded the bone. Look at that. There's all kinds of pieces in there. You can see the shattered bone. There's a little tiny lead fragment in there. Blew right through it, cracked it in half, and the bullet exited out the back. We saw a nice little dust cloud in the background. All right, I appreciate you guys stopping by with me out here on the side of Danger Mountain to test out the 357 SIG. I've been curious about this forever. I've even owned this barrel for a couple of years and haven't shot 357 SIG. So it's kind of cool. I like the power in this little pistol, and I plan on carrying it. This is actually my side-by-side gun, and it's going to stay 357 SIG shoved down in the center console of my side-by-side. A big thanks to Sean from Glasgow, Scotland for joining us out here and doing all the behind-the-scenes production work, including the key grip, the best boy, catering, everything. He did it all. While I sat over here talking on my little golden phone, ordering miniature giraffes to my house along with Kim Kardashian.
Say what? Fuck us.
You guys stay safe out there. Stay armed whenever and wherever you are. It doesn't matter what with, a little 380, a 9mm, or a 357 SIG. And until next video, OG out.